Howdy heartthrobs. Another day, another e-bike review. And today I am looking at the Ridstar Q20 or the YVY C20, dependent on where you look. What do you get for your money? Well, as you can see, it is a moped style e-bike. I'm 5'9.5", 5'10", flat-footed on the ground, sitting on the seat. Talking of the seat, it is a big, plush, long motorbike style seat. 20 by 4 inch fat tyre wheels. You've got a 750 watt motor, 7-speed Shimano Tawny gear set. Coming forward, you've got some metal spiky pedals to hold your feet. The battery is a 48 volt, 20 amp hour battery. They say that's good for about 40 miles. That'll become clear later when I've taken it out for a test ride directly after this. It does come fitted with a throttle, ignition key for you to turn it on, BMX style handlebars, motorbike style forks with 100mm of travel, 160mm hydraulic disc brakes, which is brilliant, big massive headlight, decent tail light, which is also a brake light. You've got your thumb shifter up here, an easy to read computer screen, which gives you all sorts of information as you go. You get a phone carrier. Now, with this phone carrier, also comes so you can charge up as you're riding. That hasn't got any sort of anti-vibration stuff on it though, just to bear in mind. This one comes with a little frame bag. Don't know if they all come with a frame bag. Side stand. Yeah, that's about it. It is currently weighing in at 30 kilos. So, not the lightest thing in the world, but, you know, if you're riding it like a moped, not too bad. It does come restricted to 15.5 miles an hour. Very easy to unrestrict it if that is the way you're feeling. I'm going to bring you in and show you a bit closer what it looks like, because little touches that you can't see from this side, like the nice shiny brake calipers, bright and red, are a real nice touch. And I've got to say, for the price point of this bike, it was a lot cheaper than what I first thought. It's built quite well. It's built really well, to be honest with you. It's a little bit mucky, a little bit muddy, because I've been out on it. Yeah, not a bad bit of kit at all. Let me bring you in, I'll take you out for a ride, and then I'll give you my final thoughts at the end. I forgot about the plastic mud guards. So let's have a look at the cockpit. Flappy paddles. There you got your light button and your horn button. Slightly offensive, the horn. You got your disc brakes. No, you haven't. You've got your brake levers, and as you can see there, that's where your dot 4 goes. As you come along, you've got your menu button for your screen. I'll go through that in a moment. There's your phone holder with a USB charging port underneath, and a very easy to read LCD screen. So the controller that you have, literally 3 buttons, press and hold to turn it on, up and down for your pedal assists, and usual, if you press and hold them, you can get into the menu to change anything you want to change. So if we scroll through here, it will give you your, oh, wrong way, it will give you your odometer, trip odometer, voltage, current, time on the move. Yeah, that's all you really need, isn't it? You've got your thumb shifter there for your Shimano 7-speed gear set, and an ignition key. Also with the ignition keys, you get your battery keys, so you can unlock the battery, take it off the bike. Everyone's a winner. There's your monstrous headlight and BMX bars going down. As you can see, you've got some whacking, great big disc brakes there, and rather snazzy red powder coated calipers. 100mm of travel on that motorbike style suspension. As you go down, you've got your battery, 48 volt, 20 amp hour battery. Sorry about the state of it, I've literally just got back. Got your metal pedals there, all spiky like. A little bit of artsy stuff. Don't really do a lot, but it looks nice. Come down through the back. There you got your brakes, 750 watt motor and your kickstand. Set of mud guards. There's your backlight and your big, thick, comfy saddle. Also with this one, you did get a little pouch for you to use as and when you like. Not a bad looking bike, is it? So first things first, let's see how it pedals as a bike. Pulling off in third gear. Bit of a weird seating position, as you'd expect. Feet are quite far forward on the pedals. You can sit right back on this seat, it's massive. But obviously then you're leaning forward. Change through the gears. They work well enough. It's not actually that hard, to be honest. You are straddled it a bit like a cowboy seat, but it's not too hard to pedal. I wouldn't want to pedal it uphill for any length of time, but as a bike, yeah, surprising. Obviously you're not getting any sort of leg extension and the seat isn't adjustable, but I'm currently sitting at 18.5 miles an hour with no pedal assistance. On the flat you'll be alright, I reckon. That surprised me quite a bit. The seat's definitely comfy enough. We are coming to our first 10% hill of the day. I'm currently sitting at just shy of 12 miles an hour in pedal assist 3. As with all cadence sensors, it goes up in level of speed, not in effort it gives you. So I'm going to crank that straight up to 5 as we get into the hill proper. I'm in gear 7 and we'll see how this takes us up the hill. I'm just going to try and ghost pedal this one because it's not the most comfortable thing to pedal. But that is maintaining 15 miles an hour all the way up this hill, and I'm only ghost pedaling. That's the difference between having a 250 watt motor and a 750 watt motor. Obviously I'm riding this one, it is still restricted as it come out of the box. It does come with a throttle that you can disengage, but still not strictly legal with that size of engine and that throttle. The other thing to notice is that it only gives you the maximum speed of that setting as your readout, unless you put it to pedal assist 0 and then it gives you an actual reading. Doing 30 miles an hour at the moment, too fast for the gearing. But it's certainly steady enough. It's like riding a moped that you pedal quite uncomfortably. Yeah, it's too fast. Now, at 25 miles an hour, your legs are going slightly too fast to be comfortable with this gear setup. So now I'm slowing down. Let's crank that up. Pedal assist 5, back up to 15.5 miles an hour, and you can't really push it past that. So the delay, 2-second delay from pedaling to power pickup. The throttle is instant. But what I am finding straight away is this bike is designed to be unlocked. At 15.5 miles an hour, if you're ghost pedaling, it's fine. But you often find yourself trying to get above it, which means you're always at the top end of your battery power usage, unless you want to be crawling at the lower speeds. Don't know why you would be. Let's see how it handles this kissing gate. That power's definitely on or off. And there we go. It's quite a loud engine. And obviously with the fat tyres, quite a lot of road noise. Sitting quite far forward on the seat. A lot of that could be down to the fact that I've got my handlebars leaning forward too much, and that's the way I set them, so I've got no one to blame but me. Zero problems with the power. It definitely pulls you up anything. My concern is, the more that motor's working, the less range you're getting. And because ergonomically, it's not something you can power through yourself on the hills, you're going to be using a lot of battery, but we'll find out. I've got 20-25 miles to do today. That will be a very good test. So one of the problems you have with cadence sensor bikes is when you're trying to do like that, some fine control. You have the delay that kicks on and off, which means all of a sudden you get a burst of power, possibly in a tight turn or something like that. That's why torque sensors are my favourite. This is a cadence sensor bike. We are now on the gravelly section, or a bit of gravelly section, and I've got to say the suspension's brilliant compared to some of the others I've ridden recently. Very motorbike-esque. Doing a job. You do feel like you want to go faster than the 15 mile an hour. It feels quite a pedestrian 15.5 miles an hour. Right, let's go up there, see if we slip. It has been raining, it is muddy. As you'd expect, absolutely no problem. But once you're actually set at that 15.5, yeah, it's a comfy ride. You will find yourself stretching your legs out, because as I say, leg extension is a bit of an issue. The thing with these bikes is that it's almost a necessity to have that throttle when you're pulling away from lights, because of the cumbersome nature of pedaling them. I mean, you get away with it absolutely fine, and as you saw at the beginning of the film, you can ride this like a normal bike as long as you haven't got too many hills. But if you're using it on tracks and using the motor to the maximum capability in conjunction with the throttle, it would be so much fun. Obviously then that chucks it into the realms of illegality. You know, stupid UK laws rather than the bike's problem. The bike is pretty good. They claim a range of about 40 miles. I'm doing 25 today. I'm going to be hitting that battery pretty hard, so it'll be interesting to see if it actually lasts. You've got 10 battery bars to look at when it's coming down. So we'll have a look at that. I'm just going down here and I'm going to test the brakes. So we'll get up to 15.5 mile an hour. Get to the pole. Slam on. What's that? About 12-15 foot. Throttle away. There we go. Front and rear hydraulic brakes. Really not bad for the money. They're rather nice looking red ones as well, to give it a true motorbike feel. So here we have my usual foray down the bumpy, rooty, poorly maintained, poorly repaired cycle path. And as you would expect, it's having zero problems dealing with it. The fat tyres absorb, big bump, fine. Fat tyres absorb. Front and rear suspension do exactly what they're meant to do. Yeah, no problem. Here comes the recently repaired bit, which is the worst bit of the whole path. And compared to what I've been on recently, it was like riding a giant marshmallow. So while we're on a smooth bit of tarmac, let's run through some of the stuff it's got. By button on your handlebars, you've got the headlights, button on, button off. Obviously you've got brake lights and things at the back. Also got a horn, so that alerts people. A little bit obnoxious, but there you go. As I say, you've got hydraulic disc brakes, which are a great addition. Thank you. You have got a phone holder that has got a USB charger, so you can charge your phone as you go. Great idea. The actual phone holder itself, I'm not a fan of. It looks like it'll hold your phone fine. There's no anti-vibration or anything on it, and it's a bit plasticky. You've got your computer, which gives you a wealth of information, odometer, trip odometer, the voltage you're currently on. What's that? That should be the current. Nothing seems to be reading there, don't know why that is. The time of your trip, back to your odometer. Obviously it gives you your speed up there, how much battery you've got left, always showing, and what pedal assist level you are in. One thing I have noticed, when I said earlier that it only shows you the top 15.5 miles an hour when you're in that top gear, that is until you stop pedaling and the motor stops working, then it will show you your actual speed. So all the time you're pedaling and that motor's working, you can only achieve 15.5 miles an hour, or at least it will only show you that you are achieving 15.5 miles an hour. This bike, if unlocked and use of throttle, would be a commuter's dream. And if the government are talking about getting people out of their cars and into electric vehicles, this is the way to do it. Get hold of one of these, they weigh 30 kilos, crank up that top speed so you can go to work at 30 miles an hour. Who would want to drive? I mean, it's raining now, I'm not sure if you can see that. I'm still happy. You can't see because I've not got my 360 on, but the lights are working really, really well. No one coming. We're just about to start entering the section where we're riding through town, which is where my first personal negative of this bike is going to come in. As I say, it does look aggressive, it does look big, it does look illegal, let's face it. Although I'm not doing anything that is, got the right speeds, I'm not using that throttle. The fact remains that people are going to be eyeballing me. But we can have a look. Let's have a little look. Like that bike wanker. So then, we are coming through the pedestrian section now. That's only a second actually kicking in from a standstill, to be honest. Luckily there's no one around because it's raining. But I would definitely be looking over my shoulder should the old bill be about. It's manoeuvrable enough. It is a bit clunky and chunky because it's a big old bike. So here we go. For the next 8 miles, it is a gravelly, off-roady cycle track with puddles, mud, potholes, a whole load of different terrain. These 20-inch by 4-inch fat tyres are obviously having no issues with it whatsoever, and the suspension's doing a fine job. So what do I like and dislike so far about this bike? The leg extension, and this is for me personally, because I have knees that were, how do we put it? The army assisted me in training my knees to fall apart at a young age. So I like to stretch my legs out fully. Can't do that on this. The stop-start nature of the cadence sensor motor, which is the same on all cadence sensors. As I say, when you're navigating tight turns or kissing gates and things like that, it adds to the difficulty unless you turn your pedal assist off. The seat's actually quite comfortable, gotta say that. The fact that your legs are slightly straddled when you're pedaling not too much of a fan of that, but it's not an uncomfortable riding position. As I said, because of the handlebars which I fitted, I am leaning forward slightly. There's no reason for me to be leaning forward slightly. I could quite easily get a second person on this bike if I added some foot pegs. And if it were unlocked, you know, you'd have a lovely time riding around the local shops, having a drink of coffee, blah, 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 blah. I've covered 8 miles. It's not showing any loss of battery. Yeah, so it's doing everything you need it to do. It genuinely is. It is definitely more designed to be unlocked and to be a bit of a thug. One thing I really like about it is the throttle is incremental. So you can just crawl along with it, or it will pick up pace as you twist it more. Like a motorbike throttle. A lot of these throttles are either on or off. So there again, I would say it's actually, just get past these people. Thank you. I would say it was actually safer using the throttle than the pedals, because you don't get that stop-start and you're not going to end up in a hedge. But what do I know? I only test e-bikes. The mud guards and that so far, I've not got any splatter on me, no rattles, no knocks. The suspension is fairly stiff up front. You can't lock it out, but I don't think that matters. Along these lanes now, where on a hardtail bike I would be feeling it, I'm very grateful to be riding this thing. And I could quite easily imagine flying through here. Another thing I like, it's got an ignition key and a battery key. So you literally have to turn it on like a motorbike before you start. That's handy. Again, it's never going to stop people robbing it, but it may deter some. So we are coming to a very rutty part of the cycle track. I'm going to see what happens when I try to get some air on it. I'm going to see how it feels with my feet on these pedals. I was just kneeing the bag there. Right. It jumps fine. It didn't bottom out. I'm not going to say it was comfy, but it wasn't terrifying, scary, anything like that. Yeah, it's not a bad upright standing position, but because of the width of the bike, you certainly wouldn't want to be pedaling like it. But if you are riding it off-road, going downhill, you can certainly stand there, grip the bike with your knees, much like riding a motorbike, as I've said many times before, and keep control. Again, this bike screams throttle use only, to be honest with you. It's no problem pedaling, but it reacts better to not pedaling. It's so much easier just to control it with a twist than it is to stop pedaling, wait. You can shut the power off with the brake. Then you've got to wait your 1-2 seconds for it to come back in. Yeah. Not the bike's fault. The bike's doing what the bike is meant to do. That's pretty cool, isn't it? Velomobile behind, look. I'm liking that. This feels almost like a negative type ride review, and it isn't. The bike is doing what the bike is meant to do. It's comfortable, it's working. The power delivery is delivering the power as it is meant to. You know, it's, as I say, I've got to review these bikes for what these bikes are. My complaint is that you should be able to ride this bike for more than what it gives you, if that makes any sort of sense. So what I am going to do, I am going to unlock this thing. I don't know if I'm doing it right, purely because I haven't read the instructions and I'm a technophobe. Right, so I had a fiddle. Let's crank that up to pedal assist 5, get on that throttle, and let's see what speed we get while we've got a straight. 20, 22, 23, 24, 26, 28, and there's horses. And I didn't get kicked in the face by a horse, so it can't be that aggressive looking. Now, since I've unlocked it, this has now become a completely different riding experience. Notice I'm off the road, by the way. So I'm in pedal assist 2, and I'm capable of just shy of 17 miles an hour. Which still leaves me 3, 4 and 5 to get up to 30 mile an hour it looks like. I know that its American cousin can do 37 miles an hour. Not sure what that would do to the battery. So what I'm going to do is, when I get to the final part of my ride, which is a tight, windy back road where cars pass you very closely because there's not many opportunities to pass, and at 15.5 mile you do hold them up. If I've got the battery here, I'm going to crank this bad boy up just to see the difference between danger and no danger. But all of a sudden, it's a completely different bike to ride. You feel like you're getting somewhere. It feels responsive, not threatening, and not held back. So my legs don't feel like they're actually putting in a shift. I'm starting to like this bike. Ain't rural America nice, by the way? God damn. Let's try a little bit of throttle only. See how smooth that is? And you crank it up and you get going. You can edge off and it brakes. So much better. So much better. I'm actually looking forward now to opening this right up. Because honestly, it would never replace my Pooch Maxi or my classic mopeds, which I love. They've all got character, etc, etc. But if I could jump on one of these, hit the road at 30 mile an hour and get to the office in half hour, I wouldn't use my car. The old government need to wake up. You can do a cycling efficiency, a CBT style test on them. All of it, not a problem. How do? Even getting smiles off people. It's probably because I'm smiling. Not sure if I mentioned it before though, the brakes are definitely back to front. Oh. Got a nice straight bit here, undulating road. See if I can top 30. Yes I can. I'm doing 30.1 miles an hour. It feels safe to me as well. 13 miles in, and it doesn't look like I've used any battery. That can't be right. So halfway, let's see what the battery's like by the time I get home. So then we are 15 miles in and a bit of a tush report. Not too bad, to be honest with you. It's an overall sitting pain, right? You've been sitting on a church pew for too long, even though it is quite soft and spongy, but it's not being entered by an angry pony pain like normal bike seats are. Everything seems to be working, nothing's worked loose, nothing's rattling or banging. Yeah, it's doing what it says. Again, this isn't an expensive vehicle. When I first started looking at like the Super 73s and things like that years ago, the price was a little bit ridiculous because you could have got a motorbike for it. Now you've got some lesser known brands coming out with these, and they do the same job. You're going to get some slight difference in build quality and quality control, I'm sure. But as it stands, longevity not taken into account, it ain't a bad bike. It don't look like a bad bike, and it's certainly not performing like a bad bike. Ease of putting it together out of the box was fine. Knowing that you can unleash its potential is brilliant. I wouldn't want a 250 watt one of these. I don't know why you would, unless you're just trying to look cool. The days of me looking cool are long gone. I'm nearly 50. But if you're looking for a bit of transport that you can take up a few trails, yeah, this ticks a lot of boxes. It certainly brings a smile to your face. Now that I've made it more usable by going into the settings, definitely have a better feeling about this bike. So I've lost my first bar, 2 bars out of 10 at 16.5 miles. I don't know how accurate that is. So that would be the equivalent to 1 bar out of 5, I suppose. So 16 times 5, what's that? See, the power bar definitely isn't accurate to the amount of power you've got. The good news is, it would appear I've got a lot more than half battery left and I'm over halfway. I'm back on roads now, so I'm going to put all the settings back to what they're meant to be. UK legal. But before I do, we have got a big steep climb here, which I'm going to hang back from. It's only a short climb, but it is steep. I'm going to crack it into Power Assist 5 and see what it does under throttle. And we're away. I'm pedalling just so that car behind me thinks I'm pedalling. 12% hill, 14, 15 mile an hour. That carried me up there from a standing start. That ain't bad, is it? So now is the time. I'm going to hand this bike over to my American cousin to see what it can do on the back roads when there's a lot of busy traffic, and it could be quite dangerous in the UK. At least he can open up. Welcome to Isle of Wight, New Hampshire in America. So here we go with our very American roundabout. Got a car already behind me. Let's crank this up and see if it annoys him less. Now the battery immediately has plummeted down to about 25% remaining. I'm currently doing 28.4 up a slight incline, and as you can see, that car behind doesn't look that bothered that he's stuck behind me. Why would he be? I'm not sure while I'm pedalling, while I've got a throttle. But it does seem he's less inclined to try any silly overtakes. 25 mile an hour, comfortable. I'm going up a big steep hill. What is not to like? I feel safer. That car's got to be happier. Massive steep hill, 26, 25, 23, 22, 20, leveled off at 20 at the apex, which is 5 mile an hour quicker than I would be going at my quickest on a normal bike. Now I'm pretty sure when he sees an opening he'll go, but he's a lot less likely to take chances. It just feels so much better. It is definitely going to affect your range though. There you go. He even gave me a wave of thank you. Tell me that ain't better. Tell me that ain't safer. Sorry, my memory card died. So now coming up to the final long hill. Starting at 7%, climbing to about a 12%. Still unlocked. Let's crank it right up. Let's beast this battery. I've already done in excess of 20 miles. So, even with heavy use of the battery, you're gonna get 30 mile out of it. Where are we now? 19 mile an hour coming up this hill. The difference is night and day. Whether you're ghost pedaling or on the throttle, it's so much more usable. A real alternative to using a car. But at legal limits, if you crank this down to 15.5 mile an hour for people that use it back in the UK, you're going to get 40 mile an hour range out of this battery at a very pedestrian pace. You can disengage the throttle. You could remove the throttle, I suppose. Just put a normal grip on it. But, fly in the mouth. Why would you want to? I'm hooning up a hill. Hooning, I tell thee. Let's go straight throttle alone. It does smash the battery, but when you actually come back off, it climbs back up. So I'm going to finish off this ride. I'm going to send this bike back to the UK for me to give you my final thoughts. I like this bike. I really like this bike. Look at it. All this is climbing. I'm climbing a hill. 28 mile an hour. On the flat, 30 mile an hour. Cuckoo, ka-choo. Tell me it's not safer. It's got to be safer. With those whopping great big hydraulic disc brakes front and rear, I've got old mopeds that will stop slower than this. Right then, back to me, probably stood in a garden in the UK. My final thoughts on this bike. I took it out for a 25 mile ride today. The first was in its locked configuration, so 15.5 miles an hour. The throttle was still engaged, but you can disengage that. It was absolutely fine. The motor's strong enough to power you up any hills, but you do struggle to pedal with your own steam over that 15.5. Because of the way you're sitting on it, you don't get a lot of leg extension, as you can see. The suspension works, but was a little bit hard. Does have rear suspension as well. I might have forgot to mention that earlier. You can see I'm almost straight-legged, sitting on the seat at 5'10". I'm, what, a 32-inch inside leg, if that means anything to you. Now, the second half, I sent this bike over to America, obviously, unlocked it and used it to its fullest extent. It absolutely changes this bike. The throttle is responsive. You get up to 30 miles an hour easily. It will climb you up a 12% hill at 20 mile an hour. You didn't hold up any traffic, it would be the perfect commuter bike. Obviously, pretty much illegal in this country. You take your chances. With the looks of it, I don't mind the looks of it. I like my motorbikes. Are you more likely getting pulled by the old bill riding something that looks like this rather than another fat tyre bike or a different sort of e-bike? I can't answer that question. Only you can answer whether or not you're willing to take that risk or not. I can't talk at the minute. I've got a big fat tongue. The little touches it does have, like the charger for your phone, is brilliant. The fact it's got hydraulic disc brakes, again, brilliant. The comfort when you're using it like a moped, excellent. Riding it like a bike, it's doable, but it isn't the most comfortable. If you're on the flat, not a problem at all. I would not want to be climbing hills. The front light would make Stevie Wonder squint. Brake light does a job. The mud guards worked absolutely fine. I didn't get drenched. All in all, even on the off-roady bits I'd done, it was a very, very comfortable ride. Love the fact you can charge your phone as you're going along. Horn's a little bit obnoxious. Build quality, absolutely fine. Certainly for the price point. These e-bikes are coming down and down and down in value and in price, not in value. And I'm for it. I'm all for it. I don't think it's a bad looking bike at all. Anyway, hope this helps. Links in the description and all that shizzle. Let me know what you think.